Joining me now with some perspective on this very important ruling is attorney Jeff Rasansky of Silver Perlman Law Firm located here in Dallas. We want to thank you for coming in this morning. Obviously a landmark decision here. This is the biggest award that's come in a case like this in U.S. history. Would you say the appeal process is going to drag this out indefinitely? How long do you anticipate?
We've heard comments from defense counsel that he plans on appealing this all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. If he's true to his word, we could see this dragging on for another 3 or 4 years easy throughout the appellate process through the state of Texas, through the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court of Texas, then appeals to the Supreme Court of the United States.
So these plaintiffs are going to have to wait quite some time. This could be devastating to the congregation here locally. What about the insurer? Because the diocese is insured by Lloyd's of London. Would you anticipate that the insurer will pay up, or do you think they might refuse to pay, saying that the diocese ignored some of the warning signs?
I believe that there will be coverage issues between the church and the insurer, Lloyd's of London. At this point, we don't know how much the insurance is, what amounts of money the insurer has to pay on these types of claims. And you're right, they may take the position that the diocese knew about Rudy Koss and failed to take any action, and as such became an intentional act, that the church intentionally failed to take any corrective measures. And if there's a finding of an intent or an intentional act, the insurer or Lloyd's may have grounds to stand not to pay any part of this judgment at all.
Is it unusual to have seen a case like this actually come to court? Because the insurer has said, the attorney for Lloyd's of London says that they try to avoid cases like this coming to court, try to settle out of court. Was it a surprise to see this damaging testimony in court? Absolutely.
In this particular case, I have no doubt but to believe that the plaintiffs drove this case to court. The amount of money that they asked for, the insurance company and the church says, we don't believe a jury will render a verdict in this size of award. The plaintiffs drove this to the courthouse.
Drove this, okay. Now the jurors specifically asked for an admission of guilt from the diocese. They said that's what would help these plaintiffs to go on with their lives. And Monsignor Bell said that admitting guilt implied criminal proceedings and this was a civil proceeding. Do you think that they're withholding that admission of guilt for legal reasons?
I don't see any legal reasons why the church would not offer an apology at this point. They've taken corrective measures already. They've initiated task force at the church. Any evidence that's going to go up on appeal that's going to be considered by the Court of Appeals has already been put into evidence in the courthouse. Anything extraneous may not be used in this particular case, but it could be used as an admission in further cases if further boys come forward.
And Rudy Koss, the criminal trial will be coming up. Any anticipation there? Do you see more of the plaintiffs joining that?
The plaintiffs have let us know that they have every intent of moving forward and filing affidavits of prosecution against Rudy Koss.
Okay. We want to thank you very much for joining us this morning and lending us your insight.
Thank you for having me.